Race number 9 here at the KBRC is the Barnicott Plumbing Handicap over the mile. One of the more open races we've had here this afternoon. Many short price favourites have saluted here this afternoon, but with the likes of Mail, One More for Leo and Celebrity Witness all reasonably well in the market, it's one of the more open events here today.
Sure is. I went with Mail, but admittedly he's getting shorter than I thought he might get.
He was open to begin with, but the money just keeps coming for this horse, and Peter Fernie did actually say it's his best of the day when I spoke to him earlier on in the program. The one is Celebrity Witness for David Smith and Lactar Ramoli,
who won a very similar race to this going back 2 starts ago, was able to get the job done. That was only a 7-horse field, and she got the job done in the last stride, but she's no stranger to racing here at the KBRC. Only a couple of starts that Dave Smith's had with her, and if you take anything from history, it suggests that all of his horses get better and better into the campaign.
The 2 is a scratching, so we move to the 3. Bill the Bee, blinkers off, visors on for Ash Grace and Joey Has a Party.
Well, he is 38 days between runs, but if you look at his last 2 starts, he's gone into those both 28 days between runs. So it seems as though it's a deliberate move from Ash Grace to race him on the fresher side. The recent runs have only been fair in my eyes.
The 4, Dance of Thunder, is also a scratching, so we move to the 5. Frankie Blue Eyes for Josh Brown and Lucy Fury replaces Sean O'Donnell.
Well, I thought he was a legitimate winning chance here. Lucy Fury obviously picked up the ride on Dance of Thunder when Willie Pike was a late scratching after the Monday trials, and then she picks up the ride here on Frankie Blue Eyes. I thought his last start run, even though 8th of 13 beaten 2.5 by Turbo Power, was excellent, and the last time he raced at a mile, he was a winner at Esperance.
The 6, One More for Leo, is $6.50 into $3.90 for Brett Drury and Michael Poy.
Understandably so too. I know he comes up in grey, but if you look at his recent form, he's been ridden by apprentices at his last 6. Senior rider goes on, he comes up in grade, he draws an inside gate, he drops a couple of kilos in weight. He should get every opportunity from an inside draw.
7, Passion Prince for Trevor Tasker and Keshel Duran.
Was in that Celebrity Prince race 2 starts ago, meets that galloper 1.5 kilos better for only a half length defeat. Drawn a wide gate here though, and there's a fair bit of speed drawn underneath.
The 8 Male is our favourite, $4.80 into $3.10 for Peter Fernie and Clint Johnston Porter.
Well, this horse has been really good since arriving on the Goldfields. Go back 3 starts ago, a winner of a Class 2, went back from $18 into $5, and then was another winner here in the same grade, another Class 2, went $7 into $3.80. Now, we do have one here that's just playing up, or more than playing up in the yard, and that's Celebrity Witness, who's just got a big in her bonnet at the moment. But for Mail, I'd imagine it's a really nice race.
The 9 is Rightful Air for Brian Allen and Christy Bennett.
Rightful Air's been running some really good races from up on the speed, expecting that this galloper will charge across from the wide draw, look for the top.
The 10 is Captain Rogers for Ash Grace and Brandon Louis.
Another one here that comes out of Class 2 company, so comes up in grade, gets a little bit of weight relief, can hold a spot from an inside draw, but a big unknown at the distance.
11, All on Black, Paul Tapper and Zephyr Johnston Porter.
A galloper here who resumed first up, no trial, was beaten 6.5 by Love Drunk Baby, would need to improve tenfold off that.
The 12, Blue Turns to Grey for Helen Harding and Tash Faithful.
Only the 1 from 31 here at Kalgoorlie. 10 minor places to go with it, but I think it's a little bit of an insight into this 8-year-old grey. Doesn't win out of turn.
13, Grace du Roi for Trevor Tasker and Jade McNaught.
This horse I would not be surprised at all to see a little bit of support for, because this mare was a big improver last start. She was beaten 2.5. She probably should have only been beaten around a half a length. She was really impressive late when held up at a crucial stage.
And 14, Irritable Rodney for Neil Della and Sean McGuddy.
Another one here that was much better than it reads on paper last start. 13th of 15, beaten 5 3/4 by Count Grundy, but could have finished a lot closer had the gaps arisen.
And I can report the 1, Celebrity Witness, will be a late scratching after having a little tumble in the mounting yard. She's getting unsaddled and heading out the back as we speak. back live here at the KBRC. 2 minutes of betting time remaining. As I said, the one celebrity witness who was the third favourite in this market has been a late scratching, but Mail is 480 into 290. One more for Leo, 650 into 330. Captain Rogers, 11 into 850. And Rightful Air steady at around the $11 quote. How did you order the 4?
8 for me, Lockie. Mail. I actually tipped this horse each way, and that was when Shoot Your Shot was in the race. That was when Dance of Thunder was in the race, and of course Celebrity Witness as well. So there's a whole lot of deduction through all these prices, and Mail is nowhere near each way anymore. So 8 on top for me, Mail, but with a caveat. He's a horse that had a bit of a bad luck last start. He's in really good form on the Goldfields, but $2.90 is very short in a field like this. 5, Frankie Blue Eyes. This horse is a $14 chance. I thought he was really good last start behind Turbo Power in a much better race than what he meets here. And then I'll put in the 2 luckless horses. 13 in Grace de Roy, who's 20 to 1, and 14 Irritable Rodney, who's a $12 chance. Both these gallopers were beaten out of sight last start, but neither of them got a fair crack at them in the home straight. It's one of those races that they come through that form race behind Count Grundy, where the majority of the field was actually held up for the entire length of the home straight. So how much do you take out of that as a form reference? Well, we'll wait and see. 8, 5, 13 and 14. 8 Mail on top, but he is getting very short now.
Horses are yet to begin the loading process, so we'll touch upon the win of the Hannans handicap winner in Magnificent Andy. I almost forgot his name for a second there, Scott. I don't know how I did that, but moving forward, what type of level do you think he could get to? Could a race like a Carbine Club throughout the carnival be his race?
That's the race for him, surely. I don't think he's quite up to a level of a railway stakes, and I think SJ Miller basically alluded to that in his interview with you. They'll try and pick out whichever race suits him best. I'd imagine that's a Carbine Club, and if not, he could go to races like an Aztec Ruler. He could go to a Pinjarra Classic, go to a Bunbury Stakes. There's a lot more fun to be had with him as long as they're realistic in where his ability level is.
Without doubt, I'm sure SJ, the Reed family, and Brad Parnham, who rides him so well, will have plenty more fun with Magnificent Annie, and was a very deserving winner of this afternoon's Hannans handicap. But they're beginning to join the line nicely, so we'll hand you upstairs to Darren McCauley to call home the last.
Now these runners are coming in. One more for Leo. All on Black and Mail are in. Passion Prince now led up. Clark of the course with Frankie Blue Eyes. Rightful Air to come along. Irritable Rodney, and also to come forward is Captain Rogers. Club's colours being worn by the rider of Grace de Roy. And Captain Rogers, as rider, has the white cap. As they continue to load them in. Almost set here. Final event. Barnicott Plumbing Handicap field nearly ready. In goes Irritable Rodney, and they stand well. Set to go. Off and racing. All on Black, one of the first of them away. Bill the Bee and also the stablemate jumped away well. Captain Rogers going up there. Mail is right there as well with Rightful Air as they go up towards the first corner. And one more for Leo is the meat in the sandwich settling down. A length and a half behind those. Going over to the back is Passion Prince getting back into the field soon after the start. It dropped out with blue turns to grey as they race along past the 1100. Irritable Rodney, Frankie Blue Eyes and Grace de Roy last of all as Captain Captain Rogers had them running. Inside the 1,000, Captain Rogers by a length over Mail, who strayed to second. Bill the Bee occupies third spot down on the inside next of all, just in front of Rightful Air, who's sitting a shade deep. A length away, one more for Leo. Over on the inside behind those, then as they work down the side of the course, at the head of the others, I'm All on Black, followed further back by Blue Turns to Grey. Around the outside of those, Irritable Rodney takes off. Onto its back goes Frankie Blue Eyes. Passion Prince back near the inside, held up for the moment. And Grace Durawa last of all as Captain Rogers heads for home. At the 400, Captain Rogers a half a length as they come towards the home corner. Straightens up in front of Mail Rightful Air, who's been off the course all the way. In behind them, Bill the Bee straightening. Followed further back then by Irritable Rodney. And down the outside then, Frankie Blue Eyes as Mail at the 200 comes out after Captain Rogers. Irritable Rodney running on strongly. Captain Rogers and Mail and Captain Rogers from Irritable Rodney. It's Captain Rogers and Mail in a desperate go to the last. They split it. I think Mail might have just nailed Captain Rogers. Maybe Mail has won it by a toenail. I reckon over on the inside, Captain Rogers, they went to it locked together with Irritable Rodney behind them. Followed further back then by Bill the Bee. Next home, All on Black, followed by Grace Durawa from last, and then came Frankie Blue Eyes, Passion Prince, one more for Leo, and a couple of the stragglers home. They included further back in the field, Blue Turns to Grey, and Rightful Air pulling up one of the last home. 8's got it. Mail, ridden by Clint Johnston Porter. 8 Mail first. Has beaten 10. Captain Rogers, 14. Irritable Rodney in 1:38.35 and 13. Grace Durawa fourth. The interim numbers to the last here in Cal, 8, 10, 14, 13. Mail, after a battle royale with Captain Rogers, who would not surrender. But it was Mail, the Peter Fernie prepared 5-year-old, the second of the Subugs to win here this afternoon from Dima. Clint Johnston Porter, and gets home to win the Barnicott Plumbing Handicap, defeating Captain Rogers, Brandon Louis, Ash Grace by Flying Artie from First Blossom, a 4-year-old gelding, and third 14 Irritable Rodney from back off them by Zophany from Rock on Madonna, Neil Della, Sean McGruddy. 13 Grace Durawa was last and certainly finished home full of running to grab fourth. And the margins are a short head by 3/4, a short head 3/4 of a length to the final race on the program. Rounds out a good day for Peter Fernie, Cambana Lodge. Double today there for Darren McAuliffe as well. Pete winning with Red Cadillac, who was certainly one of the really impressive wins from earlier this afternoon. SJ Miller with a double, likewise Brad Parnham as well. Those that have really got amongst the spoils on a fabulous Hannans Handicap Day card here in Kalgoorlie. As we head down now to the enclosure after a great battle with Mail just getting the upper hand in the shadows of the post.
He certainly did, Darren, and Peter Fernie joins me now after the win of Mail. Pete, we spoke earlier on in the day and you thought that this horse was the best of your remaining chances at that point. He seems to just be loving life on the Goldfields.
He is. It was a tough win today. He sat outside him and done it well. I think big thanks to Clint, who rode him a treat, like he lifted him over the line and got him there. It was a great ride.
Is it perhaps most pleasing to see how versatile the horse is as well? He's obviously won outside the leader today before he came under your care. He won being on speed, but a couple of starts ago he took a sit as well. He seems fairly versatile in terms of how you ride him. Yeah, well, we tried to lead with him. I think that trick to him's been we just took the tongue tie off. And since we've done that, he's been a different horse. It's been a good day for the stable, and the stable is in good form. Cup day in 3 days' time, another big day for the stable. Who's the best of them? Haven't had a look yet, Lock. Too busy. Thanks for your time. Thanks, mate. There's Peter Fernie. Knowing him, we'll have about 80 million horses in on Saturday afternoon. So Peter and Luke Fernie will be very, very busy saddling up all those horses. Scott Embry, Mail settling outside the leader, controlled the speed from there and won in a very tough manner. Are we catching up with Clint Johnston Porter for a word?
We are going to catch up with Clint Johnston Porter. He's just popping inside to weigh out Lockie, and then he's going to, weigh in, should I say, and then he's going to pop back out and have a chat with us after the victory of Mail. We'll get a word on Pro Consent too from our Hannans Handicap, and then we'll also ask him about Be Optimistic, who I'm sure he's riding in the Kalgoorlie Cup on the weekend coming. So we'll get a good word from Clint Johnston Porter. He has weighed in. It's successful. He's coming out. He's got a, well, I would call it a shocking new haircut by his standards. But Clint, tell us about Mail.
Yeah, look, got sick of getting in traffic all day, so banged it out. That wasn't my plan prior to the race, but when he jumped well, I thought, this is my opportunity to go forwards on him and see how good he is.
Nice tough win in the end because that leader never gave it away.
No, look, for a long way up the straight, I thought I was never going to get past it, and late it crumbled and I kept going.
What about today in Pro Consents run in the Hannans Handicap? What do you think?
Yeah, super run. Just got caught up in all the traffic. Probably being first up, he didn't travel too well amongst them all and just got lost a little bit. But once I got out, he absolutely attacked the line.
What do you think about Be Optimistic in the weekend? 2,300 metres of the Kalgoorlie Cup. Do you think you'll get the distance, and what sort of run do you think you'll get?
Yeah, look, the distance, a little bit sceptical, but look, it maps well for me, and realistically, there's only one horse to beat that bet us last week, so hopefully we're one better than it.
Best of luck, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's Clint Johnston Porter combining with Peter Fernie and Mail to take out the last of the day. Scott Embry, I've told you many times before, and I'll tell you again, you are not one to talk about haircuts, but that's all from us out of the KBRC. We'll be back on Saturday afternoon for the Kalgoorlie Cup.